How's it going, ladies and Bruce? It's Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. We're in this new fishing area now, and we've got a lot of people to talk to and a lot of shit to find. We've already found a lot of shit since we've been here. And I mean a lot. Hopefully we can make some money too. And get our badge so we can go talk to that lady too when we get back there. Lots to do. The old woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed. You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samoan, maybe Sigayan, also known as the apricots. Yeah, I remember that.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
If you can't see, how did you know I was here?
I still have a golden ear. Come.
She beckons towards her. Lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
I'm a cop. I don't cause trouble. I take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Which you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there.
She points to the building behind her.
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says as if it was some kind of spiritual retreat. What kind of ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, alright, a black hound licking your own heels. If I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe we're afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen, but you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built.
I like this place.
I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park your motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Where can someone stay around here? Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodging's what you're looking for, I got a free room in the shack. Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. How much is it? I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. There's this guy, Gate, who makes me give him money every night just so I don't die out in the cold. That's exactly how they get you. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside, so we don't have to give money to those crooks. She looked around. Might not look like much, but they're ours. Why isn't anyone using the room? My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in a small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm. One more time, I can just have the room? Aye. She nods and looks at the shack. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and a roof over it. That's more than some folks around here have. This could be the first chapter of my rags to riches memoir. Surely not the first one. She looks you over, a clever smile on her lips. So you interested or not? You got yourself a tenant. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police. A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. What's in this fishing village? Just us. She sounds tired. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. What do you mean? This is pretty much a non-place, she grins. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street. The place is so pornographically poor it's not even funny. The place is pornographically poor? The lack of wealth is one thing we've got in abundance. The woman smiles cryptically. That's what I thought. Then all's not lost, she replies, smoothing a wrinkle in her skirt. As you can see, even in pornographic poverty, people make do. At least those who remain. She falls silent and turns to look over her shoulder, as though looking for someone. There's nobody there. There's got to be something here, tell me. She waves her hand southwest. Over there you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox. Between here and Jamrock, a dusty sea of old trees all covered in industrial soot. Small houses under them. An overgrown park. The pox, what's that? An old military hospital and its surroundings. She looks towards the buildings to the south, or it used to be during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for the shell-shocked veterans and folk looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinderblock houses, shacks as far as the eye can see. What happened to the hospital? The goodwill ran out. She tightens the scarf around her neck. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone now. Who else lives in the village? Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few folk live in the house to the east. She nods her head across the courtyard, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks, she sighs. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. They met Lillian already. Lillian's tough, she nods. Tougher than the men here, at least. If it wasn't for her and her kids, the place wouldn't have a spark of life left. I haven't seen any drunks yet, though. Sooner or later, you'll see them for yourself. She slowly shakes her head. Don't have to look long to find those guys. Is there a way to make a little money around here? Here, for you. She lets out a dry chortle. No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and forgot about. Okay. What's further down the coast? Not much, she replies and wipes her forehead. There's an abandoned church. The DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Why is it abandoned? Some things just don't fly, officer. She smiles, a gap-toothed smile, and smells the air. Look around. Who'd want to go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then. The Eclis states have tried to keep things going there, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. She frowns. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church. What else is down on the coast? Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant, run down bunch of houses, empty. Anything else of note? Of note, the old fisher market up on the boardwalk, but it's closed. Who'd want to come to a fish market here? No one, that's why it's closed. After a long pause, she adds, it was once a bustling place back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Yeah. Now, what catch we do goes straight to the lorry for the Delta or somewhere else. There's got to be more. What, you got one of those real estate people? You're one of those real estate people with big plans. If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in. If there's anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. She drops a bar of soap into a bucket with a splash. Now you know everything there is about the coast. Tell me about yourself. Who exactly are you here? Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. My married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, mister. Lieutenant W.E. Friter Harrier Dubois. Quite the handle you got there, the woman nods, with evident respect. So many titles, one of them double. I'm off. So is this the house that is ours now? Nice! Let's check it out. The door has seen better days. The layer of paint is starting to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted. Unlock. The key turns with a satisfying click. You can enter the shack now. Can we have a look? Oh, this is nice. On the table, we see a bowl of water, a rough soap next to it, and a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin. Get those mutton chops off. 42? Let's do it. Your hand trembles as you scratch at your cheeks. Oh no, that's not how a grown man shaves. Leave it for now. The floorboards creak under your step. You see the waves, the sea, a church. Old science fiction magazines, books about birdwatching, an almanac from '39. The intricate heat engine hums quietly, giving out pleasant warmth. A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum. Listen. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside it is cold and windy, but you're inside and it feels safe and warm. What is this place to you? Looks like my new home. Wonder where the old one went. Westward across the canal towers the Whirling in Rags, door 1. On the second floor is locked. Behind it lies a trashed room. 1 floor below, behind a counter, stands an irritable man. In a small shack in the fishing village, a Baroque heater hums quietly, emanating a sense of comforting warmth. A wash basin lies on the table, the water inside reflecting the somber face of the world. Far away on the corner of Perdition and Main, a nondescript building obscured in haze is vacant and lost, just like its tenant. Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of my current situation. Outside, the howl of the wind is picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice. Look under the floorboards. Look under the floorboards? How? Okay, I can't do that. I can't look at the floorboards. Maybe we can look under the floorboards from here? I don't know. I don't know about that. That's a bit weird. We'll talk about it later. The street sign is illegible below the graffiti. Hard to see the details. The colours all warm and welcoming and cozy though. What do we got here? Book. A primer for small kids. I can interact with that. A flower trough where nothing really grows. Maybe in spring. Primer book. You hold your hand on the colourful primer. The title reads, A Primer for Small Kids. There's a bear involved. Flip through the pages. Every page has one word designated 1 letter of the alphabet, with a faded illustration. Most of them are scientific and cultural principles. It goes as follows. A is for azimuth, B is for Boreas, C is for cosine, D is for diamet, E is for ellipsis, F is for phlogiston, G is for gamut. H is for homeboy, I is for econ, J is for Jura, K is for Collops, L is for laudanum, M is for myriad, N is for nadir, O is for Oriole, P is for perihelion. Nod stoically. Q is for quasar, R is for rhododendron, S is for sinus, T is for tricolor, U is for ultra, V is for Victor, W is for warheight, X is for xylophone, Y is for Istava, and Z is for zenith. That's it. That's it. You know the alphabet now. In what is called the IL, the international language, developed by scientists from Grad in the 20s, sinus means sign, for example. Exactly what I need. The book will show you the score, get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. The anthropomorphic bear will give you the lowdown on your life. On what? The alphabet. Cool. Oh, I always do that. Always do that. What's in here? Feels safe and warm in here. Not like outside. Stolen. Oh, there's a person. Industrial coal pellets burn with an orange glow. Hello, mister. A young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She's looking at you with frank curiosity. She clutches a small stuffed animal and casually twirls it around. I heard there's a girl here who has armoured gloves. Is that you? Ooh, she looks alarmed. I had gloves, very big ones, heavy too. Where'd you get them? Found them when Lammy and I were playing hide and seek in an empty house where no one lives. I think someone hid them there. She doesn't want you to think she stole them. And where are the gloves now? She pouts. I hid them. The twins were going to take them. They're stupid. She lifts her stuffed toy up and looks into its one remaining eye, as though searching for confirmation. I need those gloves. Why? She looks at you suspiciously. I need them for a very important police investigation. Ooh! She doesn't seem to understand, but you've conveyed the important part at least. They're in my sandcastle. She points somewhere outside. Behind our house, under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Are you Lillian's daughter? Yes, I am. Little Lily. She gazes with her big eyes. You know my mum? Yes, we met earlier. That's nice. My mum is great, she nods. She's never angry or anything. What's this? Show her the stuffed bird you took from the ceiling? It's a grouse, she yelps, smiling broadly. What's it for? I don't know. Can I have it? Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. What's that thing you're holding? Pointing to a toy. It's Lammy. He's my best friend, sort of. Like, she holds the fuzzy beast up to demonstrate. Lammy is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing and the fur is tattered in several parts. Lammy looks soft. Yes, very soft. Suddenly she pushes the stuffed animal towards your face. Press your cheek against Lammy. Isn't he soft? She's right, Lammy is very soft. She rubs white fur against your cheek, then returns the lamb to her lap, cuddling it. Goodbye. Bye. The girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you. She's nice. What a nice girl. Alright, let's hit the sandcastle first. Weather has not been kind to Lily's sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network. Reach in the catacombs and pull out the shiny object. The walls and floor give way to the giant's greed. Collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets. Nice. Can I wear that? Because they're not covered in gore, right? Yeah, they're not covered in gore. +2 interfacing. Dude, that's pretty good. I think they look good in me too. Strength and digits. Oh. As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone out with one punch. The white ceramic gloves wrap around your digits comfortably. Your movements cause tiny little clicks like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions. I'll be responsible with this. This is just to protect me from harm, not to show off. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, add a glow to your cheeks, and a surprising spring to your step. Just imagine what a full set of the stuff could do for you. One down, 2 pieces to go. 2? Are you sure you're correct there? There was a helmet too. 3 more pieces, more like. You were ambitious. Yeah, I want the full suit. Maybe a while before you have all the pieces. In the meantime, you should analyze the armor, figure out its vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities? Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor, meant to stop bullets. Wear it, observe its properties, see if there's a weakness in the design. For the day, you have to fight someone covered in the same material. Did we get something new? The Fairweather T500. Okay, so this will give us more information about the Fairweather armor. Alright, let's add that to the internalized list. Man, we are internalizing a lot of stuff right now. Still, it's cool. How did I miss all this extra stuff? Alright, let's talk to these kids here. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. Can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. He must be Lillian's twins. This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker. Lily's our mum, explains the other, tongue still lolling out of his mouth. I already said that. The stone kicker laughs suddenly, his head too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Wow, so intellectually stimulating. The stone kicking isn't even of very high caliber. Anyone can do that. Is Lily your sister? Yes. Yes? Yes. That's it? You're being laconic about it? Doesn't look like he knows what that means. You look identical. The stone kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of, the obvious fact that you just stated. He looks just like me, the other one says. Yeah, I said that. The boy doesn't answer. Okay, whatever. Alright, we're having a breakthrough. The precarious world. This is the one from the dice maker lady. How not to lose? It's impossible not to. The world is balanced on the edge of a knife. It's a game of frayed nerves. You're pushed on by numbers and punitive measures, pain, rejection, and unpaid bills. You can either play or you can crawl under a boat and waste away. Turn into salt or a flock of seagulls. Your enemies would love that. Or you can fight. The only way to load the dice is to keep on fighting. Critical success and failure thresholds lowered by 1. Making it easier to get a critical success, but also easier to get critical failure? Is that what that means? Or easier for success, harder for failure. That's what we want, ideally, you know. That would be ideal. I mean, I'm not expecting the world, you know. Well, we got a lot, I don't know. We still need to go and interview that lady. But we'll get to that. I want to check out the beach proper first. Let's zoom out a bit. Dude, this place is freaking huge. Unreal. What do we got here? The water runs from the west. The source is upstream. A broken pipe? The beams are splintered. The bridge didn't collapse on its own. Artillery broke it. There's a person up there. 2 people, even. Alright, let's talk to you then, I guess. Because you're there.
And Mikhail, notice the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officer, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez. I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Jan Karp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh, yes. So, Mikhail, they had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago, so they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Alright, you were talking about the building, go on.
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
I got confused.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial candours of a professor or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms, when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again. Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries. What's so fascinating about an empty old building? Aha, but it's not just any empty old building. He raises his hands to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All 3 of you turn to admire the mural before you. What a lot of people don't know is, this used to be the R&D department of Field Electrical, and Field, which now sells ink cartridges, mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom. Hold on, what's R&D? Look at the building looming over you. It looks old and weathered with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop, like some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill. Wait, what's an R&D department? Apologies. It's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. He smiles brightly. Laugh lines around his eyes. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development. Me culpa. You're not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead. I don't think I've ever heard of this Field Electrical. That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. He adjusts his suit jacket. They started out as Midway Electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Field became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beaten in business machines. He gestures towards the building, but Field had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve. He grins. I'm mixing metaphors here. What was the ace? It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a, he pauses for effect, tape computer. A tape computer? Mm-hmm. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be in a take-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants Ream, ICN, and ZAM haven't achieved yet. He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. What happened? Indeed, what? The revolution. The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve. He nods. Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to market. Field's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. He pauses, pointing to the other building, and continues. All of this is built by Feld. Even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. You're saying Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war. A wheel? The kid looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky. Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global centre for innovation in cybernetics, but history had other plans. What happened to the engineers, the company people? I'm afraid it didn't end well for those boys, he smiles again, as if he's somehow personally responsible for this bleak turn of events. But this story's a bit too dark for Mikhail here. Now if you were to ask about tape computers, is he saying that we should bypass the excesses of the revolution? Tape computers, right. Tape computers, he nods. Wind tussling his suit jacket. What did the revolutionaries do with the advanced tape computers? They use them for military communications, he says, while his son looks up, idly chewing the corner of his worm-themed colouring book, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Decret de Mars. What was that? What's the March Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to the news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bons Bières de Insulinde. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind a book. Or, well, tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention. The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion. How'd the tape computers work? Do they work like radio computers? Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like, but word has it they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking, turn-of-the-century hardware. He raises his finger, remembering something. Buckle up. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wampy Dumpty Dom Centre in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised some questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This is before the twins, Keith and Guy, Juiced, joined the team, trying to... What the hell is a Wampty Dumpty Dom Centre? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced? Okay, back to where we were. Tape computers, I think. Yeah, it's tape computers and Field Electrical. Okay, I'm done now. No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed. Pick your brain. If anything, it was rather one-sided. You did the talking. Whatever. Money. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. There's so much free crap here. The fence blocks the path. No way on from here. Is this talking to them again if I talk to this? See a once bright mural towering above you. The sign is just peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away. Ah yes, their famous motto. You hear the man exclaim behind you. Fine example of technological optimism from... He says something, but the wind blows, and you can't hear him. I'm done talking to you now, mister. I'm sorry. But there's so much stuff to pick up. I need to pick up all the stuff. You know how it is. There's literally stuff everywhere. The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds. Rust-eaten letters. Mazout. Wait, what's this? You should come back here when it snows. A strange feeling. It passes quickly. It is snowing, isn't it? Isn't it literally always bloody snowing? It seems to be. Looking back at you from the rust-coloured water, you... Wait. Take a longer look at yourself and how you're reflected in that slick chemical rainbow. What do you see? Metaphor. It's always metaphor. Some kind of metaphor for me? This is more important than you. That's the blood of industry you see before you. The runoff from Coal City further down the coast. The engines of fortune once roared here. Great wealth poured into Revachol and the Delta, as did smoke, waste, sickness, life. What happened? The engines stopped. The West Revacholian industrial base was dismantled after the war. Now extinguished coke furnaces dot the landscape. A landscape despoiled by industry. Filth, this needs environmental action now. There was a serious dereliction of duty in this cleanup. Perhaps you could dedicate your life to cleaning it up, but you're a cop. You must concern yourself with different messes, even so. It's pretty to think. A school of fish huddled around the fence post, then scatter into the dark. A kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. Full of holes. Could the post hide treasure? Look inside. Before you a drawbridge. It can only be lowered from the other side. Is there someone over there? These are all full of stuff. Come on, you. Who needs to pick up plastic bottles and shit when you can pick up tons of free shit everywhere? Oh my god, there is still so much to explore. Is this the... I don't know, we need to wrap this episode up anyway, because we are out of time for today. Oh wait, we got 3 minutes until that one's done. We should really let that one finish. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. Is it this one? Dusty pews in the shadows, many seem to be missing. This is the church. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. We just need to kill 3 minutes, right? But time doesn't seem to move unless you're like, well, not properly, unless you're like looking at something or talking to someone. Or something along those lines, you know? A dead phone, a smashed receiver like someone hung up too hard. Someone must have worked hard to smash that plastic dome. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone unless you're out of change. You hear the tone, the machine is operable. Dial a random number. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up. Pierre? Is that you, Pierre? The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. No, this is not Pierre. Do you have any news about Pierre? Who is Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country. The woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I'm a police officer. To hell with the police. To hell with you. Okay. Alright, that's done, finally. That's what I was waiting for. Kingdom of Conscience. Learning for Volition raised to 5. Learning Cap for Logic raised to 5. That was already at 5. But Volition, that's handy. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one. Like a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change. Not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky and the dark shapes of coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in heaven. Everything is normal on earth. Okay, that's odd. But it raised my volition cap, so that's quite nice. You know, even if that is very odd. There's so much to explore here. It is un-goddamn real. We're going to be at this for some time, I think. Look at here. Can't imagine why calls become terrible sometimes. We're going to wrap this episode up here. Obviously, we're just going to keep exploring. We need to go back and talk to that lady. But, you know, time isn't going that fast. It's only lunchtime. We've got all day. You know, we picked up so many items. We got our badge now. We got these gloves. These gloves look badass, by the way. And +2 interfacing could be real handy later. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.